this is what you need to know. What I'm doing is, rather than having you look at 40 slides and try to remember and all the things on those, I'm narrowing it down to about a half a dozen slides for you guys. But it's going to come from these slides. So know these slides. And it's not going to be obscure stuff. There's nothing, not one obscure question. These are all very, very mainstream things. These are, this is a ovary, this is a graph, these are both Graafian follicles or vesicular follicles. And this is a very typical, these are really good images. What happens in a vesicular or Graafian follicle is that the egg cell part gets pushed to the side by the fluid. So this is the antrum, which is now quite large, here and here. This right here, in the center, that's the ovum. That's ovum, oocyte, egg cell. That is surrounded by that clear layer, just that very inner layer, called the zona pellucida. But these cells around it is the corona radiata. Corona radiata. And this is important because when the mature egg cell is ejected from the ovary into the fallopian tube, this is what goes. The egg cell goes with its surrounding corona radiata. So it's egg cell or ovum. Zona pellucida is just, pellucida means a clear, and it's just that very, very clear layer here, very, very thin layer, and then the majority of this surrounding is the corona radiata. Then the antrum, and the rest of it you don't need to know, but that's a Graafian follicle. You don't need to know the theca interna and the theca externa. I don't care about that. This is from your book. And this is just another one. This is a Graafian follicle. Again, the egg is pushed to the side. This is the egg here. Corona radiata is around it. And this is the antrum here. This, for your listening pleasure, is known as a corpus luteum. After the mature follicle ejects the egg, what's left, all of this tissue, the fluid kind of gets resorbed or gets expelled, and some of it gets resorbed. And then what's left is called a corpus luteum, degenerating corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is important because it actually is the main source of progesterone in the ovary, a little bit of estrogen, but mostly progesterone. So again, Graafian follicle, mature follicle, and antrum, corona radiata, oocyte, ovum, egg cell.
What slide is that?
Pardon me?
What slide?
It's called, it just says histology slide ovary.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, sperm. This one is also on your slides. Okay, sperm cell, really the three main parts of the sperm cell are the head, the midpiece, and tail. Tail's for locomotion. Locomotion, midpiece is where all the metabolic stuff is. It's mainly producing energy to get the tail. Sorry, that's not the tail. This is the tail. And then the head is basically the nucleus of the cell. The head is where all the genetic material is. And this three here, and what they're looking at here is cap on the head of the sperm cell. This cap is known as an acrosome. You must know that, acrosome. The acrosome contains enzymes that enable the sperm cell to penetrate an egg when it encounters one. So, within this midpiece there are centrioles that generate the energy, but again, head, midpiece, tail, centriole. That's what you got to know. Okay. This is a testis. Slide of the testis. This is also from your exam, from your histology slides. These, this one, this one, this one, that one, this one, these are all seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules, these are the tubules where the sperm cells are produced. They go through a bunch of stages, spermatogonia, primary, secondary. You don't have to know any of that stuff. You just need to know that these are seminiferous tubules. In between the seminiferous tubules are clusters of cells, and they don't look, they're not tubules. They're just little solid clusters of cells. These are called the interstitial cells. They are interstitial in between the tubules, and they're the interstitial cells, sometimes called Leydig cells, the interstitial cells of Leydig, L-E-Y-D-I-G. So, testis, seminiferous tubule, interstitial cells of Leydig.
Professor,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Can you, I'm sort of, I can't see it clearly. Like the, can you show us one more time?
What?
The, where the interstitial cells are?
Yeah, it's just between the tubules. It's between the seminiferous tubules. Everything that's in a tubular formation, they don't all look the same because some of them are bigger than others, some of them are being cut obliquely, some of them are being cut kind of straight across, so they look like they're different sizes and different shapes, but all of them are in tubule formation. If it's not in a tubule formation, then it's interstitial, it's in between the tubules, and by definition, those are the interstitial cells of life.
Okay.
Okay,
Looks
it's
like a
always going to look like that. And this is the kidney. This is a good, very good slide of the kidney. Know this slide. This is the glomerulus. This is that nest of capillaries fed by the afferent, efferent exits. The podocytes you can't really see here, but the clear area around the glomerulus is Bowman's space, and it's and what you're seeing here, these are the cells lining Bowman's capsule. So that Bowman's or glomerular capsule is really a kind of like this. So this area here is this area here. This line here is that. So glomerulus, Bowman's space, Bowman's capsule, and this is leading into the first part of the nephron after the glomerulus, the proximal convoluted tubule. So that's all that's on this slide. Glomerulus, Bowman's capsule, Bowman's space, PCT, AC. PCT. Three is the proximal convoluted tubule. There's nothing else on any diagram of the kidney that leads out of here. It's always the proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, questions about any of this stuff? Anything you need me to go over again? All right. This is what your exam